Late last year, I started to work on a video. I ended up scrapping that video 3 different times. I scrapped the gameplay, the script, and all the editing I had done up to that point because I wanted to make sure this video was done perfectly. I wanted to make sure that everything that needed to be said was said. In that video, I wanted to talk about classic players and how we were being mistreated by 343 and others in the community. I also wanted to talk about the future of the Halo community, as it seemed extremely bleak if you were a legacy player. I scrapped that video and replaced it with another. I did this because things have changed, and the future is not as bleak as I once thought. So over the past few years, I have been extremely critical of 343 Industries and Microsoft over a lot of the choices they have made with the Halo franchise. From the MCC launch to Halo 5 story, the quote unquote free monthly updates, and the rec system. And I mean, don't even get me started on this shit show that was the month of Mythic. But this video is not going to be a rant. It's not going to be me screaming over a choice that 343 made, but looking at my past feelings and looking towards the future of the Halo community. This video is going to take bits and scraps of that video and make an even greater one. Now, I want to be as clear as possible, but after the original launch of the Master Chief Collection, it truly felt like classic players did not have a voice nor a place in the community. It felt like we had truly been forgotten. We were told that the past was just that, the past, and that all that mattered was the modern community. It is like what Kylo Ren said in The Last Jedi: forget about the past, kill it if you have to. Now, of course, there were throwbacks to the past in Halo 5. How many classic weapons came back as Rex and then replaced the original models that they had on maps in Halo 5? From what I remember, the Halo 2 battle rifle started appearing on more maps than the modern Halo 5 model. The Spanker rocket launcher replaced the Halo 5 model for the most part, and there was even a whole SWAT game type based around the original Halo 1 pistol. It is a play on nostalgia, a way for 343 to get a small bump in population in their game. It made players say, hey, you remember that weapon from Halo 2? Or hey, you remember that map from Halo 3? Even with them throwing nostalgic weapons on maps, the honest to God truth was laid out in black and white. The MCC was dead and no longer a focus for 343. The idea of a Halo 3 anniversary was shot down, and what we got was a playlist in Halo 5 that played like Halo 3, had maps from Halo 3, but this was not Halo 3. And it felt like nothing was coming to us, the classic fans. It felt like our part of the community was being told that we did not matter and that we should move on and forget. A while back, I got into it with Grim Brother 1, and he said that there was an arbitrary line being drawn in the Halo community between classic and modern fans, and to him that there was just one thing: Halo fans. I don't think this line was that arbitrary. I think it was very much real, because for the longest time it felt like we had been forgotten, that we had been told that we were unwanted in the Halo community by 343 and even the community itself. And then a little over a year ago, they announced that they were going to be going back to the MCC, that they would be correcting the mistakes that should have never have happened and finally fixing what we loved. Now, I still stand by this, but for myself and a number of other people in the community, 3.5 years is too long to get a game back to where it should have been at launch. This mistake should never be forgotten or forgiven in any capacity. We should never accept buying a product and then 3.5 years later getting that product to the point of where it should have been at launch. This cannot become a standard, and we should never ever be 100% okay with this. This is unacceptable. But it did happen. They returned to the MCC, and with a little help from the community, they were able to bring the MCC to where it should have been at launch. Now, there are still a lot of issues people have with the game, But as time goes on, the MCC is starting to have a community build around it again, and honestly, it has felt really good. It has felt good to finally have the game we wanted 4 to almost 5 years ago. It felt good that the past has not been forgotten or, for that matter, erased. And now we have the PC announcement just a few weeks ago. Something that we never thought would happen, but the MCC alongside Halos 1 through 4 are all being brought to the PC along with all the bells and whistles that PC players expect when playing a game on our platform. Along with the rumors of mod support through the Steam Workshop, crossplay with console players, and even a tournament scene, this truly feels like a revival of the classic community. Now, I'm gonna say something that's probably going to get some mixed reception in the Halo community. A little less than 1 year ago, I said that if Halo Infinite is not what I'm looking for, or I did not agree with the choices that they made, then I will leave the series behind and walk away for good. I thought that was my plan, but time can change things. Time can heal wounds. I am still critical of 343 Industries and Microsoft and the choices that they make. But for the first time in a long time, I am finally happy to be a Halo player again. I am finally feeling like we are not being left out in the cold, and that the criticism, requests, and problems that we have been saying are finally being heard and looked at. A few months ago, I was starting to work on a video called Classic Players Feel Forgotten and Unwanted. I started and stopped working on that video 3 times. That video is now dead and was replaced by another, this video. Because honestly, if 343 in the community can really come together and we can keep this positive momentum going, together we can focus on both modern and classic players. Only then will I think that the Halo community truly has a second chance at life.